What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris, man. We are here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is Tuesday, October 29th, 2024. My name is Chris Drummond. I'm a freelance sports reporter based out of Minnesota here, also work in sales, and I'm a proprietor of this podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder, where I bring individuals on to talk about their why and get to know them outside of their occupation. I got a special guest that's coming on with me tonight. She attends Washington State University, and she is a reporter for Prime Athletic. In her past previous jobs, she worked as a barista, and she also works as a hostess as well as a restaurant. Her name is Cassidy Collins. We're going to talk to her about her why, of why she wants to get into the reporting business, journalism business, sports journalism. But we're also going to get to know her and ask her some fun questions. So without any further ado, I introduce to you the lovely, talented, and the beautiful Cassidy Collins.
Oh,
Hello there. How we doing?
good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I see we both wearing vests. I like that. That's nice.
Yes, it's getting cold in Pullman, so I had to put on my puffer today.
I totally understand that. You look absolutely amazing, by the way.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
No
it.
question, no question. Thank you for hopping on my podcast. I really do appreciate that.
Yeah.
How's the week been going so far?
My week's been great. I've had a super busy week. I just came back from Cougar News, which is the show that I co-produce along with my friend Emma. Today we went over weather and traffic tips. So reading weather and traffic is a little bit different than, say, anchoring or reporting or something like that. You usually have a script written out and you can read from that. But with weather and traffic, you don't have that. So I was kind of giving tips to the girls about how to do that and what they should do, what they should look for. I kind of explained it like they were talking to a friend. You open your weather app, you're telling your friend what you see. So, yeah. And other than that, I've just done some ASWSU stuff, which is the student government here on campus, and had budget council over this past weekend. So, lots of fun stuff.
See that. I see that. Well, listen, once again, I want to thank you for coming on. Let me reiterate to you why I wanted to have you on here. Shout out to Emma as well, because that's my girl. I definitely know
Yeah.
there's no question. She's been on here before. But the main reason why I wanted to have you on here is I know that you're a reporter for Prime Athletic. I know you're involved in journalism, like you just pretty much talked about and laid out for me.
Yeah.
I am a reporter based out of here in Minnesota. I started my reporting career in Atlanta about a few years ago and been doing it in Minnesota as well. So I cover sports on a regular. Well, I did. Now I'm a freelancer. So I actually cover sports now by assignment that I do. So I love to be able to talk to other people who are likewise, right? That
Yeah.
love journalism and want to get into the media field and really just build connections off that. So it was a no-brainer to talk to you because you're still at WSU, still doing your
Yeah.
thing there. So yeah, I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me. I'm super excited to go on a podcast. I mean, I've done like a small format podcast with my friend Cole before, but nothing like this. So I'm super excited. Yeah, I am working for Prime currently. They haven't gone public with my reporting videos as of yet, but they're having Logan and KSI make a video and need to kind of model it after the video that they make for this next month. So they should be going public with my little reels in the next couple of months. So I'm super excited to
All right.
see that happen.
Well, congratulations on that. Fun fact: I've never had the drink Prime yet, so
Oh gosh.
I don't even know what flavor. I don't even know what flavor to try, to be honest with you. So
My house is basically a Prime shrine. I have Prime towels. I have a Prime tablecloth. I have a Prime beanbag cover. I have a blow up inflatable Prime costume.
wow.
I have a lot of crazy stuff, and we have almost every flavor that you can imagine. I would say for the energy drink, my favorite is the original. I also like the fruit punch. I'm not a huge fan of the blue raspberry, but some people do like that one. They also just came out with like an orange creamsicle flavor that's pretty decent. For the hydration beverage, lemonade's my favorite.
That's what I'll go with. Okay.
Yeah, lemonade. And then they have glowberry out right now, which glows in the dark. So I haven't tried glowberry yet, but I'm going to crack it open here soon.
Okay. Well, listen, say less on that, Cassidy, because I'm definitely going to crack that open. I'm definitely going to do that. The
Yeah, you
lemonade
gotta
and the
try it.
glowberry.
Yeah,
No doubt.
you gotta try it. They also
Okay.
have a lemon lime. I didn't personally like it, but my roommate's friend really, really liked it. So they have basically every flavor that you can imagine, and they're looking to expand. So they ask. I'm also a Prime ambassador. I was a Prime ambassador before I started working as a reporter for Prime Hydration. So that was kind of a step up from that. But they send out to all the ambassadors what flavor we want to see next. And so we're coming up with all these crazy flavor combinations that we might see here soon.
Hey, congratulations on that. Definitely want to hear more about that in the future discussions that we have, and I'm sure we're going to stay in contact with each other after this. But the next question I want to ask you, or I should say the first question I want to ask you is, what is your why? Right? What is your why of doing what you do? Did you have any inspirations growing up? Any role models growing up? Are you from the Washington State area, which I believe is Pullman, if I'm not mistaken? That's the city Washington State's in. Talk to me about what is your why of why you wanted to join the sports journalism business.
So I always grew up performing as a cheerleader on the sidelines. I started at 5 years old. My mom tried to put me in soccer at first, and I would run up and down the field and not really do anything, not because I wasn't good at it, because I didn't want to. My dad, I remember he had to bribe me with a dollhouse, so I scored a goal. And I did score a goal after he bribed me with that dollhouse, but I just wasn't in soccer, never stuck with me. So I got into cheerleading. And with cheerleading, you cheer for almost every sport under the sun, aside from, I would say, soccer and baseball. I even cheered for wrestling. My high school, sorry, that's my drain. My high school was a big wrestling school. And so we would cheer for wrestling as well. And I just kind of got interested in the sports that I was watching. And naturally, I kind of went that route as someone who's always kind of been performing and getting in front of the camera. In middle school, I remember I started doing little promotional videos for my middle school. So if they were having an art show, I would go like interview people about that art show. And just different events like that. During COVID is when I really started to like take on the role of reporting in a sense. I interviewed, I think, the mayor and a couple different students about how COVID was affecting them and their sports and their activities and things like that. And I don't remember the exact question I asked the mayor, but I think it was along the lines of like what he wanted to do in this case to help the community of Ording, where I'm from, get back to the way it was. Ording's a pretty small town, but I guess my why is I've just been really interested in storytelling for as long as I can remember, and I just want to get stories that need to be told out there. I mean, there's a lot of these kind of rural, smaller towns that have a lot of newsworthy stories that don't get reported on. And I want to be someone who kind of seeks out places like that and gets those stories covered. Sports also just has been something that I've always been involved with as a cheerleader, going to cheer collegiately here at WSU as well. Like it kind of makes you interested on another level, right? You want to see if your team gets to playoffs. You want to see if your team has like a winning, season. So I kind of got more interested in college, and I started to do the WSU recaps, the Cougs zones through Cable 8. Cable 8's awesome. Shout out. And yeah, that just kind of got me really passionate and fired up. And I eventually created my own news show, Cougar News, and all that experience up until now, I think, and excitement got me the Prime Hydration job because I feel like when I'm speaking, I have to be really passionate about it. So I think that passion shows through the screen. Hopefully, hope it does.
No, no, that's absolutely dope. I love that why. I really do.
Yeah.
To be able to be a cheerleader, like you said. What I want to ask you, what's your favorite sport to cheer for?
Gosh, this is kind of biased because, like I said, I grew up in a town that was big on wrestling, but I've always liked to cheer for wrestling. You get to sit down cheering for wrestling also, which is nice. um, but I just think it's so entertaining, like, because with football they have like odds, right? Like this team's like 90% they're gonna win or something like that.
Right.
With wrestling, there's not really for sure odds like that. There's like guys who kind of are like better ranked, but there can be like an upset at any time. So I just think it's a really interesting sport, especially because it's individual. You're not relying on anybody else except yourself, your own strength, your own training. So I've always thought it's really entertaining. MMA too, but of course I don't cheer for MMA. But yeah, wrestling was always my favorite to cheer for, I think.
Okay. Are you a WWE person? Do you watch that?
I used to watch it back in high school. I did date a wrestler for 2 years in high school. And so they would always have these like big wrestling team get-togethers at like different families' house, and they'd watch the MMA fights, so they'd watch the WWE fights, and they'd always comment on it. And it was a really big deal. So I just thought it was super interesting. I mean, I don't know much aside from like the big names, but
No, I totally understand. Now, listen, I'm somewhat of a I'm getting back into it a little bit because the entertainment value for that WWE is starting to get a lot better.
yeah,
I'm somebody who is from the Attitude Era where I was like a little kid. I was stupid little, and I was watching that, and I was like,
yeah.
okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome seeing that. But now I took a break from watching that wrestling stuff, and now I'm kind of getting into it because the stories is being told, and I'm a huge storyteller type of fan like you. I love storytelling as well. So yeah, just definitely wanted to ask that question. Now, I want to also know why Washington State? Could there be any other schools that could have persuaded you from going to Washington State?
Okay, so this is a fun one. So I'm a very big believer in Christ, and I believe that God has a plan for everybody. And I was waiting for a school that had all the things I wanted, that checked all the boxes.
Sure.
So I wanted to cheer in college. I wanted a good broadcast program that's nationally revered. And I wanted a school that had a good environment where I would have friends. And I remember touring WSU with the then Murrow Ambassadors when I was a junior in high school. And I loved the facilities that they had. I loved the campus. I loved the feel and the atmosphere. And I remember going back home and being like, okay, I'm going to start going to cheer clinics there. And I started going to cheer clinics there. And eventually the coach reached out to me, and I had a chat with him. I remember asking him, what can I do to make your team? And he was like, get your standing back tuck. And I was like, okay, say less. And I went to private tumbling lessons, I think every single day for a month in order to get that standing back tuck. And now I didn't have a gymnastics background like a lot of the college cheerleaders where they had been tumbling since they were itty bitty. I learned all my tumbling in about a year and a half. So all the college level tumbling I learned in about a year and a half. And that was because Frank, the former coach, told me what I needed. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do what he says. And I'm going to be the athlete that he wants. And then he ended up recruiting me. I ended up sending in a video submission tryout. And I was at BJ's eating a Pizookie with my friend Mia. And he called me. He called me. It was late at night, I think. It was like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock or something crazy like that. Because I was like, I remember BJ's was like one of the only things that was open that late. And he called me and I answered, and he told me that he had selected me as one of his athletes for the cheer team.
Nice.
And I was so excited. I started crying. And yeah, I remember just being like, this school checks all the boxes. So I think in that moment, I don't think any other school really could have appealed to me as much as WSU, just because it checked all my boxes. Like, their communications program is astounding. Their professors really care about you. I can't thank all of the professors enough that I've had thus far. I mean, Marvin Marcello, he's amazing. I work with him every week on weather because we don't have a meteorology program. He works with me one-on-one just doing weather hits and traffic hits, and getting me better at that. So I'm versatile and I'm easy to market once I get out into the field. So it's just the people. They really care about you. And I don't know if there's another place quite like WSU where Cougs truly help Cougs. So,
I
yeah.
love it. I love that. I love that story. I really do. That's
Thank you.
amazing. You was at BJ's, and I remember
Yeah.
BJ's. BJ's. We don't have one here in Minnesota, but when I was in Atlanta, when I was going to college, we had a BJ's. So I remember that.
Yeah. Those Pizookies are top tier.
Girl, you ain't never lied. You say less. I'm with you on that. No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah.
Let me ask you some favorite questions. I got
Okay.
some favorite questions here off the rip, and you just give me the 411 based upon these favorite questions. Are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm ready.
Okay, let's rock. Let's rock. Favorite meal you like to cook?
Yeah, I love to cook. I'm a big chef. I would say my favorite meal to cook is salmon with lemon puree blanc sauce. I might be butchering that name, but that's very yummy. Favorite meal to eat that I don't make would be sushi. I love
So,
sushi.
so two things. One, we're gonna be very good friends. I'm gonna just say
Yes.
that right now because I love to eat. That's for sure. Since you love to cook, so that's amazing.
Yeah.
And then two, hopefully this doesn't break our friendship. But I've never had sushi.
You've never had sushi. Why? Is that like a texture thing or is it just like the thought of it grosses you out?
Up until last year, I didn't even know that sushi could be cooked. I always thought you had it raw. I always thought you could eat like raw
Hmm.
sushi, but you can actually eat sushi that's cooked. And
Yeah,
it
you can have chicken sushi, I've seen. Cooked
what?
salmon's a big one. There's deep fried sushi, all that stuff. So there's
Okay,
lots of options for you.
so there is a career fair that I
Mhm.
plan on going to in December. It's in Washington, Seattle. I don't know how far University of Washington is from you guys,
It's about
but
6 hours, unfortunately.
but there's a career fair that's near where you guys are gonna be at in the Washington state. So if I'm
Mhm.
near you guys, I'll try some sushi with you. How about that?
You have to. The best
Absolutely.
place near me probably would be in Spokane. Unfortunately, Pullman does not have any good sushi spots.
Oh my goodness.
If you're
I
in
love
Seattle and you
Spokane.
want to try sushi, I love Ohana's. It's a Hawaiian restaurant, but they also serve sushi. I'm
But y'all
obsessed.
kind of far from Seattle, right?
I'm about my hometown Fording, and that's about an hour south of Seattle. So I'm not
Oh,
far from Seattle once I'm home.
well,
And I'm
see that.
about 25, 30 minutes away from like Tacoma.
Yeah, that's where the career fair is. It's gonna be in the Seattle area of
Yeah.
the Washington. So yeah, it's December 18th. Last time I checked, so I was like, okay, cool. I definitely want to be able to get out there because one, I have not been to the city of Seattle, and then two, I've been to Spokane because Spokane
Mhm.
has a hoop fest. Has a hoop
Yeah.
fest, and I went out there.
I worked Hoop Fest this year. That was an experience. It was so fun. I got two
Mm.
posters from the guy who does all the PR stuff for Hoop Fest, Riley Stockton. So that was super fun.
I
Um,
might go out there again this year though. I might do
you
that
should
again.
You should. It's fun.
Yeah.
Spokane's got a lot of great places too. There's a sushi place there. It's kind of by the riverfront and it's pretty tasty. I went there with my dad.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, Cassidy. Don't tempt me with a good time now. Say less. Okay. So, favorite concert you've ever attended?
Oh my goodness. My first concert was Hannah Montana. Um, so Miley Cyrus in the wig, in the Hannah Montana outfit, best of both worlds, limousines, all that type of vibe. And I feel
Wow.
like that's like something you can't get anymore. You can't experience that anymore. I think this generation's closest they got to that was JoJo Siwa, but still
Mhm.
not the Hannah Montana level. So I'm gonna say the best concert I've been to this day would be Hannah Montana.
Wow. To even say that name anymore, right? It's like,
Right. Yeah, it's a throwback for sure. It's the best because you can never see it again.
okay, so are you a Swiftie?
I like Taylor Swift, but I wouldn't call myself a Swiftie.
I'm about to say there's a butt coming. There's definitely a butt coming.
There was
Okay.
a bug coming.
Mhm.
I'm not following her like she has a cult following, okay? I'm not one of those people who's in the cult following. I like her music, but I don't care about her personal life. So And I think to be a Swiftie, you got to be pretty in tune to what Taylor Swift does outside of the music.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. I'm huge into hip hop, so I would say my favorite concert was definitely Jay-Z and Kanye when they did the Watch the Throne. That
Yeah.
was just amazing.
Yeah,
So
that would be awesome. I remember when I was in high school when Astroworld came out, I really, really, really go to that concert, and
mhm.
my parents would not let me go. So I feel like that probably would have been my favorite if I were allowed to go.
Yeah, Travis Scott, high school girl, you Cassidy. I mean, I knew the vibes would have been good. Trust me, I knew you probably would have had a good time. But
Yeah.
I can understand the parents' perspective on that. I can understand.
Yeah, they were worried for me just a little bit, so wasn't allowed to go to that one. But I feel like it was just the time, like you had to be at Astroworld, like that was the thing back then when it came
Oh
out.
yeah,
So big.
Travis Scott's one of my favorites, no question about that.
Yeah, Travis is amazing. He since Rodeo Drive, like so good.
Oh, okay. Look at you being a historian. I like that. Look this up. Let me find out. Okay, so favorite place you've ever traveled to?
Favorite place I've ever traveled to. So I haven't been out of the country yet. So I have a feeling that it might be a place once I go out of the country. But so far, my favorite place that I visited would have to be Hawaii.
Yeah, it's beautiful out there.
It's tropical, it's gorgeous. The locals are so nice. There's a lot to do, snorkeling, little boat excursions, hanging out on the beach. Yeah, it's awesome. I try to go once a year with the fam, but schedule doesn't always line up with the fam. So
Sure. I totally understand that. What city did you go to? Did you go to Honolulu? I went to Maui. That's the one I went.
I haven't been to Maui yet. I've been to Oahu, but we go to the Big Island when we do go.
Yep.
So the town I think is technically called Waikoloa, but all that's out there is just the hotel.
Yep.
Other than that, there's nothing else out there. It's about an hour from Kona. But we will go into Kona sometimes, and there's fun things to do there. So I really enjoy it. I think Maui will be up next because I've heard that's the nicest island.
It is. It's pretty nice. That was also a family trip of mine. So went out there. We did that. That was the only time I've ever been to Hawaii. I wouldn't say now that's my favorite because at first it was Cabo San Lucas. That was a friend trip in Mexico, but now it's changed because since I've recently went on this cruise, my new favorite trip is definitely the Cayman Islands. No question.
Oh my gosh, I'm jealous. See, I haven't been onto all these places, so I want to go. I mean, when I was in my sorority, they all wanted to go to Cabo together, and my parents didn't let me go. They're too worried about me getting snatched up and kidnapped. So I don't blame them, but.
Well, listen, hey, you're in college now. Listen, and obviously they've taught you the values and they've taught you making right decisions. Plus, you with your girls. Anytime you're going with your girls, it's going to be a safe trip because you roll in packs, and they normally don't snatch people up in packs. They normally don't do that. So, I just hopefully, what year are you? Junior?
I'm a junior, yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully your senior year, you'll be able to get to go somewhere a little bit more exotic. I know I'm looking into another cruise in March because I love to travel. I just got my passport.
Yeah. I got my passport last year, so I want to travel. I signed up for a backpack journalism type trip. They haven't gotten back to me yet because it's an application only, and I think they have like 4 or 5 people go and actually do the trip. But I talked to the professor who's running it. She said it might be Austria, it might be Germany, it might be Poland. So we'll see.
Okay, definitely hit me up
somewhere in Europe.
If you do go there, because those 3 spots I haven't been. Please let me know what it is.
Yeah, I'll have to update you with some pictures. I know Austria is where The Sound of Music was filmed, and I'm a big Sound of Music fan, so I definitely will have to go to all the spots. I know they do like a bike tour of like The Sound of Music, and it's super annoying and touristy, and they play all the soundtracks, but I want to do it.
I would absolutely love that. I'm a huge musical buff. I wasn't in journalism. I probably will be doing theater because I love musicals. I love plays, for sure. So that's what I love.
I feel like that's so common with journalists is if they weren't going to do journalism, they would be in theater or they were theater kids. So
Yep.
I
Yep.
think that's the
Absolutely.
funniest thing. Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. I got two more favorites. Now, this next favorite is a sports question, okay?
Okay.
Favorite sport you like to watch on TV, favorite sport you like to attend in person. They can be the same sport.
I'm going to go for the same sport and it's going to be a controversial take. But it was just federally recognized as a sport, cheerleading. It's just as
Mm.
fun to watch on television as it is in person. Worlds is my Super Bowl every single year. Seeing all the creative themes and different stunts teams come up with. Some of them even create stunts. It's just the coolest thing. Like the level of athleticism it takes to be at that level and to go to Worlds and to do all the things that these high level Worlds teams do is almost like non-human. It's crazy.
I'll be honest with you, Cass. In high school, I did not think cheerleading was that important. I was like, nah, y'all don't really be doing nothing. And I was just down in cheerleading. I really was. I was like, okay, it's nice to see y'all in the uniforms and do, the ready. Okay, like
Yeah.
that's cool to do that. But what changed my mind was we had an off day of in high school. Like I
Mhm.
played football, basketball, and baseball, and it was one of the seasons where we were playing basketball. We had an off day. Coach gave us
Yeah,
it. We decided to go to a cheerleading practice
you
to just see how
did.
the cheerleading practice was, and that changed my life. I was like, never again will I ever disrespect a cheerleader in my life. I'm like, this. I'd rather run a suicide than do some of the stuff that y'all do because
It's
y'all
crazy.
it's
Yeah.
crazy. It's definitely crazy for sure.
Muscles will hurt in places you didn't even know were possible. We have a
They
lot
do.
of ex football players, ex wrestlers, ex baseball players that will come and do collegiate cheerleading, which they normally do because it's really hard to find boys, and boys will be more willing to do cheerleading in college than they were in high school because it's a D1 sport, technically, and they get access to all the facilities.
Correct.
And once they get into cheerleading, they'll be like, this is harder than football.
It is. It truly is. Like you rather catch a ball, you rather dribble a ball. Like you said, muscles hurt. You stretch out things, you test out things.
Yeah.
Y'all are just amazing athletes. Any cheerleader, and really,
Thank
that's with you, no question.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I wish everybody's had that viewpoint, but still, people to this day give me a hard time about it, man. They're like, if you gave
Sure.
me a month, I could be just as good as you. I'm like, I don't
Nah,
think so.
hell no.
They
Don't even.
don't-
That is straight cap. That's what that is. No question. Last of the favorites. Favorite restaurant that you like to eat at there in Poland.
In Pullman. Oh gosh. South Fork's my favorite in Pullman. It's an American food place, but Pullman just doesn't have very many good restaurants. I will be so honest with you. We have one like high-end restaurant called Black Cypress, but it's not even good. And they don't have salt shakers and they don't have pepper shakers and they don't season their food enough. I've been twice now. And every time I ask for salt, they give it to me in like the palm of their hand. They like give me these individual grains of salt in their hand. And I'm like, you guys don't even have a salt shaker? Like this fancy place and no
That's
salt.
crazy. I've never heard of that. Okay, give me a restaurant that's closer to home. Give me a restaurant that you love to eat at.
Oh gosh, there's so many good ones over by me. Farm 12 is my favorite. Farm to table food. It used to be like a farm in itself. Its whole thing is having like local produce, local meat, like local dairy. Everything's local and fresh.
Okay.
They have fried green tomatoes, which isn't a big thing over in Washington, but they have it. They have this amazing BLT, salmon. Everything there is absolutely amazing. So that's one of my favorites.
Okay. Well, whenever I do come out there, which will be very soon, I'm definitely going to
Yes,
have to pull up to one of those spots for sure. No doubt.
you'll have to. You'll have to. Farm 12 is the place to go. It's a
Okay. I
little far
appreciate
from
it.
Seattle, but I'm biased, so.
Okay. That's okay. I love that. Let's talk about your day to day. Now, obviously, you're a junior in school, so you have classes, but you also talk about Cable 8. You also talk about your own show that you do. You're also a cheerleader. You're also doing student body stuff around, and now you took
Yeah.
on the role of being a prime reporter soon. So
Mhm.
Tell me about your day to day of how it goes with trying to manage classes and also trying to get your shows and stuff prepared as you're working with others within the sports journalism program.
So my day today actually wasn't too bad. I woke up at 9 this morning, so I got to sleep in a little bit. Most of the times in the morning, I'm working at the coffee shop in my apartment called Mead. So I also do barista work on the side so I can make a little extra money. Um,
Sure.
so this morning I went to my media ethics class and I sat through media ethics. We kind of analyzed the ethics of different commercials and branding appeal and stuff like that. And then after that, I had another class, which is kind of like a graphic design class, another required course that I have to do. And we're going over front end coding right now, which I don't love. I'm definitely not on that end of everything. But that's what
Yeah,
we went over in class today. And then
I
we
agree.
also, I'm a Murrow ambassador. So I had to go present to a class of about 120 freshmen, and we had our assistant dean ask us different questions about our experience within the Murrow College and just different questions about like how it was adjusting to the college life as freshmen for us. And so that was pretty fun. And then after that, I had to go get my groceries. So I went and got some groceries, some cupcakes for my Cougar girls because I wanted to do a little Halloween themed meeting for them tonight. I picked up a girl from Walmart because right now we have this little thing going on. We had a girl get snatched from the side of the road and assaulted. Kind of was crazy. So a lot of people are
Oh,
scared to walk alone. Um,
sure.
so I picked a girl up from Walmart, drove her back, and then I kind of got prepared for my meeting. I made a slideshow. Today we went over how to adjust camera settings, white balance, f-stop, all that stuff. We also went over weather and traffic reporting, like I said earlier. And then I brought them cupcakes and donuts that were Halloween themed, and I got a couple decorations to set up too. I went to my meeting and I presented. We did story pitches today as well. So I had everybody who's reporting for the next episode pitch to me. And then we had a couple VOSOTs as well. They pitched to me, and then selected our anchors. And then I went home and now I'm here. Yeah.
Okay, so for your so it's called you said some terminology and I'm gonna break it down. Both sides is voiceover, sound on tapes for people that don't know that. That's what a
Yeah.
both side is. And I know, are you like the director of the actual of like your own show, or are you the anchor producer, or
I'm the
what?
producer.
Okay, so you're the producer, so you are
Yeah.
pretty much controlling everything behind the scenes of
Yeah.
what stories is going on, what the scripts and everything. You got your hands up in everything, but you have different people that's doing it as well.
Yeah.
Talk to me about doing a producer role because obviously I would think the camera would love you. I think you'd be incredible in front of the camera. But talk to me about doing the producer role and if you ever desire to want to go in front of the camera.
So this is my first time producing. I am usually the one on camera. If I'm
Okay.
going to be honest, this role kind of fell into my lap a little bit. The executive board for Cable 8, which is the club I'm a part of, wanted me to be the producer of this show and thought I would be a really good mentor to these younger freshman girls. And so me and Emma were kind of selected by the executive board to head up this program. And it's both of our first times not being in front of the camera. So it's definitely a unique experience. But at the same time, I'm really grateful for it because I really love to help people. I love mentoring people. I love people getting experience in front of the camera when they haven't been able to before. When you're a freshman and you're a sophomore at WSU, it's really hard to get on camera unless you're in Cable 8 and doing sports, but not every single person wants to do sports. A lot of people just want to go into regular news. So that was the vision with this show, was to just do like a mock newscast and get those freshmen and sophomore girls in front of the camera, practicing doing teleprompter reading, practicing going out into the field and doing interviews and how to interview people and how to reach out to people. So I think this show is really just like a mentorship program for these younger girls that want to go into the industry and want to get the experience before they're a junior and senior. And it's kind of later on in their career. So yeah.
I think that's amazing. I really do. I love the fact that WSU does that for the younger underclassmen that comes in and has the upperclassmen be able to kind of mentor them and show them the way a little bit to do that. It's a great segue though, Cass, because I want to ask you about mental health and work-life balance because
Yeah.
in your case, school life balance. And the reason being is being in this industry, as I've been into it, I'm in going on year 7 now of being in this industry. You've seen a lot of colleagues come and go. And a lot of them get either burnt out, overworked, or underpaid. And you see
Yeah.
that with the colleagues and they want to go off to do something else. But a lot of it stems from mental health because a lot of these companies don't really prioritize mental health as they should with individuals. Talk to me about how you're doing a lot. There's no question about it. And it seems like you're just a great leader for these younger women, these younger people in your life. But you seem like you got a good head on your shoulders. But talk to me about how you balance your mental health, but also still have school life balance, right? You do have friends, you do have family. You seem like a very personable person. I certainly wouldn't mind hanging out with you. But you got classes too. I don't know how many credits you're taking this semester. How are you balancing all of that?
So I take 15 credits. So I'm
Woo.
a regular full-time student.
Yeah.
And yeah, so school life balance is definitely really important. I would say like my mental health um, in the past hasn't always been the best, but I think I've gotten to a really good spot now where I have a clear conscience. And that's thanks to a lot of prayer, a
Mm.
lot of giving it to God. I
Amen.
feel like that's the best advice that I can give is when you feel anxiety, when you feel self-doubt, when you don't feel confidence, you give that to God because that's not from him. That's from the enemy. Anytime that you're feeling down on yourself, that's from the enemy. So open up your Bible, pray for other people, pray for yourself, pray for your well-being, pray for your career even. Pray for the opportunities that will come in the future and pray for God to close the doors that aren't for you and to open the ones that are for you. And I think that has helped me immensely, just relying on God and knowing that his plan is good and whatever I'm going through right now is for a purpose, and that's for his purpose and his will and his victory. So I would say it's not through me that I'm successful. It's not through me that I'm happy. It's not through me that I'm confident. It's not through me that I'm good at what I do. It's all through him. That's all him. That's not me. So that's the best advice that I have to give. And I would say also I've always been a very busy person. So I think a lot of people go to college and they're definitely not used to the workload that comes along with it. I'm really lucky to have had parents that pushed me from a young age. I was always involved in a lot of things at once. So
Mhm.
I had to learn how to manage my time effectively from being a tiny, because I used to do cheer and dance at the same time, and I would also do school. Or I would do
Sure.
competitive cheer, and I would do school cheer, and I would do track and field, and those all ran at the same time. And so I kind of would have to be very effective in managing my time and doing my homework at nighttime. So I'm thankful that I was busy in high school so it could segue me into college in my professional career, and I could know how to organize time better because I had years of experience already. And some people didn't do much in high school, and some people aren't used to the responsibilities that they have now, or they'll get to the professional workplace and they're like, crap, I'm working 9 to 5 now. That's a lot of my time that I used to have in college, even because a lot of people don't go to class. So I think it's just filling your time with things that will benefit your future, and also managing your time effectively. That's such a big thing. Like, as soon as someone tells me that I have something due, I put it in my calendar. Of course,
Yep.
I'll forget sometimes. I'm a human being. Naturally, I forget, but I think having a calendar, like even digitally on your phone, is one thing that's super beneficial. And I'm a super like ADHD-esque person. Like, I'm not good at remembering things, but being this busy kind of forces me to remember things. And I also have a feeling once I get into the professional world, I almost won't be as busy as I am now because it'll be like, okay, I have my shift and that's all I have to do. That's my only responsibility is my job.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I think it'll be kind of relieving almost. I'll be like, okay, I don't have student government. I don't have like all these other things I have to do. I have my one job and that's it. And I can choose whatever else leisure activities that I want to do. But yeah, I'd say giving it to God and time management are my top two. And then yeah, prioritizing the relationships that you have, even if you're a busy person. So just like sending people a quick text and being like, hey, you're important to me. I love you. You're special.
Absolutely.
Is it
Yes.
just reaching out and checking in? Always check in on your friends.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how happy they may seem, always check in on your family members. Don't forget to call your grandparents. Don't forget to call your mom, because you never know how long you have with them. Life is very precious. So, and definitely, like, if you're in an interview also, and I've got told this by one of my mentors, if you're in an interview and something feels off, go with your gut. Don't take the job, because some places, like you said, don't prioritize work-life balance. They want your life to be your job. And you don't want to be at a place like that. And
Nope.
unfortunately, that's a very real scenario in the field that we're in. So luckily, I haven't ran into that with any studio that I've visited thus far. So that's really, really good. My internship was fantastic. The news director there really prioritized his people, and it showed. I mean, they threw him like a little surprise birthday party and decorated his office, and like a lot of people wouldn't even dare to do that to their TV news director because they'd be too scared. So
Right.
I think that's a really good sign. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And that's a terrific answer. You've been giving terrific answers all podcast conversation. But
Thank you.
no question. I love that. It's a question worth asking because, um, when you do get into this business professionally, you have to be able to understand the A side and the B side. The A side is what we talked about, right? The storytelling, being able to do what you love passionately, being in the journalism business, cover all different kinds of stories, no matter the genre that you're in, whether it's sports or wherever it is. But the B side is what we also talked about, right? The mental health, the missing family time, the working on holidays, the long hours, because we don't have regular business hour type of shifts in the real world, right? Now you got a lot of stuff going on. You're at an advantage right now because you're taking on a lot of different things and you're excelling in everything that you're doing. When you do get into the work field, yeah, it will be busy, but it's a different kind of busy. And you definitely won't be as busy as college because you don't have to study and take tests or write papers or do anything like that. It's just pretty much writing scripts and stories and doing what you do. That's why I love talking to college students because I always tell them three things for sure. Anytime that you're taking a job, the first thing that I always tell them is take a visit. Make sure that you visit the place. Some people like to sign on a dotted line without visiting because they're comfortable doing that. The majority of people, I tell them, don't do that. I mean, do what you feel is right. If that's what the Lord is saying to you, okay. But for me, take a visit. You want to see the coworkers that you're visiting. You want to see the city that you're moving to. Because 9 times out of 10, you're going to be moving to a different city, and you're going to be moving to somewhere that you probably haven't seen or heard about on the globe, on the map. So it's going to be a small town. So you want to take a visit and kind of do that. The second thing I always tell them is money wise, is that number one, you got to do some investigation on money. As far as rent goes, as far as pay goes, you definitely don't want to be eating top ramen every single night. You got to be able to live. And that's the main thing that I like to tell college people because you get so excited sometimes that people want to talk to you and want to offer you a job. Like you said, if it doesn't feel right, you definitely got to press pause on that. That's for sure. And then number three, you have to know about the breaks and the opportunities that you're going to be doing. And what I mean by breaks and opportunities, you got to know what you're covering. For me, sports, when I came here, they told me I would be doing section championships and state championships and covering some of the biggest events. I said, that's a good thing. We checking that off the box. That's good. Because that's what I want to do for sports. If you doing that for sports or doing that for news, you want to be able to cover some big time stories that comes out. And you want to be able to have your ideas be heard. But you also need to make sure you get your breaks in. Like, there's times where you're going to be like, I definitely want to take this weekend off. And if they have a problem with that, then that's a red flag, because you should be able to have some breaks, to be able to get some breaks off. So those are the three things I mainly advocate to college students for sure.
Yeah, those are really good things. And a lot of my mentors have told me, especially when it comes to the money things, contracts, always have someone read through the contract before you
Yeah.
sign it.
Yeah.
And that everything can always be negotiated.
Yep.
So one person individual told me, she came in with a spreadsheet. She said, this is how much rent costs in this city. This is how much the average grocery bill is in this city. This is
Yep.
how much gas is in this city. I need to be paid a livable wage where I can afford all these things.
Yep.
And they did that for her. So I'm definitely super aware of that going into the industry. And I have a lot of awesome women who I call mentors in the industry that I'm able to depend on or rely on. And I can send them a contract and they'll go over and they'll be like, no, you need to ask for more money. Or they'll be like, no, it says this here and you shouldn't sign it because it says like that thing. So I have a lot of great women behind me and I'm so thankful for that. There's so many amazing women in the industry who are super knowledgeable because they've been through it too.
Sure, absolutely. And that was the last thing. The fourth thing was a bonus, mentors. I still have them to this day that I talk to, that read over my stuff, my articles. You have them. Definitely got to have some mentors, because it's good to talk to somebody that people have been through what you're trying to go through. So it's always good to have that for sure, which is also a great segue to the next question, which is advice. We kind of touched upon it a little bit, but what is some advice that you would give somebody that wants to join this journalism program at WSU that hasn't yet? You've been talking about the freshmen and what you talk about, but what would you say to people that's, going to be incoming, right? When you're a senior and they're going to be incoming next year, what is some advice you would give these future students?
So do everything you can. Sign up for new things, sign up for new clubs, get involved. That's the most important thing that you can do, because if you're a senior and you didn't get involved until senior year, it's much too late. You got to start as a freshman. Especially in this industry, if you want to stand out, you have to start as a freshman, if not in high school. People are all getting taught the same things as everybody else. So what you do outside of school is what's going to make you stand out. So that's the most important thing that I would say to an incoming freshman, as well as be careful who you tell your plans to. If you have this big grand plan for something that's really important and special to you, keep it to yourself. Don't tell anybody else until it's finished. That's also a really important piece of advice that I'm still working on, because I trust people way too easily, and people will sabotage you, unfortunately. So I would say keep everything to yourself until it's said and done.
I love that you just said that. I really do, Cass. I really do. And that's just, you're wise beyond your years. It really is. The reason why I say I love that you said that is you're absolutely right. That was something I was going to follow up, but you said it for me. You have to be able to understand and establish that everybody is not for you. And sometimes it's people in hierarchy positions. Sometimes it might be bosses, teachers, or people that just, they say things to you because they feel like that's the path that you should go. But everybody's path is different. I know my professors told me a lot. It was like, well, you got to start in a small thing, and you might not make much money, and you always say yes to everything. And starting out, when you come out of the industry, yeah, you might want to do that. But as you in the industry for a few years, sometimes you start to understand that sometimes people take advantage of that. Number one. Number two, you start to meet some people that aren't always with you, that do kind of sabotage things and say things, and you know what I mean? So you kind of figure that stuff out as you go into the industry. So it's great to have that mindset now, knowing that you are definitely going to come into an industry where you may meet some ladies like that, unfortunately, right? Or you may meet some men like that, unfortunately. So I love that you said that. I really do. I also wanted to touch up on this, and that is, what genre did you want to do? Are you wanting to stick with sports, or you kind of want to do entertainment? Do you want to do news, or what genre of journalism do you want to do?
So this is super interesting. I want to do politics.
Okay.
I mean, it is where the money's at, but it's also super interesting to me. I grew up in a household that there was always a political conversation, even with my extended family. So whenever there was like a Christmas get together or a Thanksgiving get together, politics would inevitably be brought up on both sides. And I always found the conversations so interesting. I also was quite a history buff in high school. I was always taking AP classes,
Yeah.
learning about how the world worked and how there was legislation behind that and why it's important for us to understand that legislation now, and how that affects us now. Also, international politics and just learning how different countries operate and how our system differs from other countries. And also noticing how my peers aren't as interested in politics as they should be, how they don't care almost. And I think it's my mission in life to make them care because government's really important, especially at the local level. And I feel like at the local level, that's what's getting lost the most. People aren't paying attention to local news outlets, people aren't paying attention to local politics. They're checking a box based on what party they're in. They don't care about that person's individual policies or individual beliefs or their background. They're looking at the party that they're a part of and seeing if they affiliate and checking the box. And that is absolutely not how we should operate, especially as a younger generation that has so much potential and so much untapped knowledge that previous generations didn't have. I mean, we grew up in a technological age, and we have a lot of different resources, a lot of different needs that need to be met. That all can be met through policy at the local level, but people don't pay enough attention and don't care enough. So that's
That.
politics. Yeah.
Feel that. We need more like you, straight up. It does start at the local level with the voting. And people need to get out there and vote, not just on the presidential, but local stuff as well. This election year, this is important. So change cannot happen unless we get out there and make it happen as
Right.
residents of our community. No question about that. So,
True.
Cass, we are at the portion of the podcast episode now that we are doing to do this or that. It is this is the part where I ask you this or that things, and you just choose which one.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. I'm ready.
So here we go. Here we go. First one is, which restaurant are you choosing? Popeyes or KFC?
Popeyes. Easy.
Girl, you my girl right now. We good, girl. We good right now, girl, because you just said it right. You just said it right. Here we go. Okay, let's keep it going. Which chicken wing flavors would you rather have? Barbecue or lemon pepper?
Lemon pepper.
Okay. Would you rather have that wet or dry?
Wet.
Okay. Do you like them bone in or boneless?
Bone in.
You like to get messy, is what you're saying.
Well, yeah. I mean, if they're boneless, they're like chicken nuggets. I just
Everybody
feel like it always tastes better on the bone. I just made chicken wings for me and my roommate, actually. I tried to make like a little garlic parmesan type rub thing. Didn't work out so well. And we ran out of lemon pepper. I was gonna make lemon pepper wings. I couldn't because our old roommate who moved out used all the lemon pepper seasoning, unfortunately.
I mean, damn that roommate for doing that. That's crazy, right?
And she left the empty bottle. Because I was in there, I was like, okay, I want garlic parmesan, I want lemon pepper. And I find the lemon pepper bottle and it's empty.
Wow. Now listen, I can understand you using all the bottle, but you can't leave no empty bottle.
You can't, no, at least throw away the evidence. You know what I mean?
Yeah, come on now. Come on. All right. We got to do better. Okay, here we go. These next four have to do with music concerts you rather attend. So here we go. First one is, which music concert would you rather go to? Kendrick Lamar or Drake?
I'm going to say Drake.
Okay, Drizzy. I feel you. Both of them are good now.
They're both good, but I feel like I just grew up on old Drake, man. Like I didn't rock with Kendrick as much as I rocked with Drake until recently, of course, when they had that whole rap battle thing going on. Of course, Kendrick is better lyrically, but I still gotta say Drake. I feel like the concert would be more fun.
Okay, I'm with you on that. I'm totally with you on that. Which concert would you rather go to? Luke Combs or Morgan Wallen?
Morgan Wallen. I am
Okay.
so basic for saying that, but I think his music's so fun. And also
Morgan is
friends with
definitely
Post
good.
Malone, so
That was actually going to be my next one. One of them. Which concert would you rather go to? J. Cole or Post Malone?
oh, that's so hard. I love both of them.
Me too.
J. Cole. I gotta say J. Cole.
I know that's right, girl. You said the right thing. You said the right thing. I'm with you on that. I'm rocking with you right now. Now listen.
It's hard. Okay.
Listen, I love me some Posty now. I love me some Posty.
Yeah.
But J. Cole, that's where it is. That's where it's at. Okay, here we go. Last one of the concerts. Here we go. Which concert would you rather go to? Casey Musgraves or Carrie Underwood?
Casey. I love her most recent album. It's so good. We play it in the coffee shop. So I hear it almost every day. I absolutely love Casey Musgraves as a person. She's absolutely gorgeous, and so knowledgeable. And she also published songs that were just way ahead of their time. Like Follow Your Arrow. I remember that song was so controversial when they wouldn't play it on the radio stations, but way ahead of its time.
She's absolutely beautiful too. Very talented, very beautiful as well.
Carrie's got the Sunday Night Football song, so she's making.
And she's talented too now. She's good too, but
she's good.
I would rather go with Casey myself. Okay. Which job, if you had to go back to, or which job, if you had to go back to it, or should I say stay at it, would you do? Would you stay at being a barista, or would you go back to being a hostess or a host like you was before?
Oh my gosh. I would never be a hostess again just because I was and the dishes at the place that I worked at would weigh so much. I remember my back and my knees would hurt after every single shift because they were one of those places. It was like those big breakfast plates. So they would have a plate for everything. You had a plate for your eggs. You had a plate for your toast. You had a plate for your entree. They also like didn't refill your cups. So once you were done with your soda, they'd get you another cup. So there was just so many dishes to pick up. And I was good at it, right? I cleaned thoroughly, and all the other 16-year-olds that were employed there did not clean as thoroughly as I did. So they wouldn't promote me because I was too good at it, and they didn't want to lose me. So I never got promoted to server. I hated hosting so much. I did like the free meals that I got. I ate a lot of chicken fried steak.
I bet you did. You got to benefit from somehow, some way. You got to benefit, yo.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. But I have to say barista. You don't have to deal with the mean customers for as long either. When you have to tell people you have an hour and a half long wait list, you do not want to see what they say or do. I've been called stupid. I've been called so many names. So.
Okay. Well, fun fact, Cass, I have not had coffee before.
Ever. Why is that?
So, okay, so here's my thing. When I go to bed and I wake up, I typically have either three things. Well, no, four things. Sorry. Water. I either have water in the morning, just simple. Apple juice, which I'm a huge apple juice drinker. I either have pineapple juice, which I have to have either one of those two, or chocolate milk. I'm a huge chocolate milk drinker too. So
these are unique beverages.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was gonna hear pineapple juice in the morning, but I don't blame you. It's pretty refreshing. My roommate loves pineapple juice. We still have some in the fridge. We got some apple juice. I wasn't expecting to hear for sure. But I mean, I was expecting tea or something. I feel like all those beverages you don't typically drink in the morning, other than water and chocolate milk, probably. But I feel like chocolate milk is a popular answer among a lot of boys, I'd say. They got a thing for chocolate milk.
We do. I mean, it builds strong calcium, strong bones. I like to work out. I like to work out in the morning, so Yeah,
Get
absolutely.
that calcium in, but it tastes good too. So
It does. It tastes very good. And
yeah.
I'm the type of person that's very weird. I put ice in my milk. I'm very weird.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting. I think
yeah.
I would probably like ice in my milk because I used to put ice in my cereal sometimes, and I would eat it that way. But I
Okay.
think you would like mochas. That's the most similar thing to chocolate milk, but it has coffee in it.
Okay. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
listen, once I come down there, you make it. I'll try.
I'll make you a mocha, okay?
Please bring me a mocha, but put it in a small cup because I don't want to be. I don't want to waste the cup. It has to be like a tippy cup, one of those. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm gonna like it too much, but here we
You're
go.
right.
So this or that now. I want to ask you, which sport would you rather play, bowling or badminton?
Bowling. I have to say, I have horrible, I think it's called depth perception. Fun fact, I'm blind in one eye legally. It's not completely blind, it's just very, very poor vision in my left eye, this side.
Yeah.
But I have 20/20 in this eye. So my brain does this weird thing where I technically only see out of my right eye because it switches over. And so it makes me have really bad aim and depth perception. So it makes it really hard for me to play sports that involve hitting or like throwing something into something. So basketball, baseball, and badminton, tennis, etc. would fall into that category just because like I have such a weird vision thing going on. I feel like bowling, I can get right most of the time. Aim's not great, like I said, but at least I'm not hitting something because I'm not good at that.
Okay? Do you need the bumpers for both?
I don't need the bumpers. I've
That's
been
good.
bowling enough to be able to hit a couple pins at least.
Okay, that's good. As long as you ain't gotta do the bumpers, you good. That's all that
Yeah.
matters. Do you like desserts?
I do like desserts. I love
Okay.
desserts.
So I'm gonna throw 4 categories out at you. You have to choose one category that you'll never eat again. Okay.
Okay.
So here we go. The first one is ice cream.
Okay.
The next one is cake.
Oh, I'd never eat cake again.
Oh, I haven't even got to the four, girl. The next one is cookies,
Okay.
and the next one is candy. Which one are you getting rid of?
Cookies, I'd say. I thought it was gonna be cake because I thought it was just those two. But I'll get rid of cookies. I don't eat them often right now. And I don't think I'll eat them often ever. I think I like raw cookie dough better than I like an actual cookie. Um, I go to crumble cookie on occasion and I'll get like one cookie and I'll take 3 bites out of it and then it'll sit in the fridge for a month. So I'm just not a big fan of cookies, I guess. I don't like frosting. I think that's it. That's why I was about to choose cake. I don't love frosting. If I do have a cake for my birthday, it has to be one with like whipped cream frosting or like a donut type cream frosting. So
That sounds good.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I'm huge into red velvet cake, so that's
Oh, red velvet's really good, but yeah, I'll scrape the frosting off of it.
you on that. Okay, okay.
Yeah,
So I like that. You said cookies. All right. So, or do you like potato chips?
I do like chips. I really like chips.
Okay. So same format. I got to throw 4 brands out there. You get to choose one that you'll never eat again. Okay.
Okay.
So here we go. First one is Ruffles. The
Yeah.
second one is Doritos.
Mhm.
The third one is Lay's. The last one is Pringles. Which one are you getting rid of?
I don't ever eat Pringles now, and I don't think I ever will again. The first time I tried them in middle school, I almost vomited. It was so gross. I think Pringles are disgusting. I don't know what they make them with
Mhm.
or if it's like how they roast them or something, but I think they just have this weird cardboard taste to them.
That's the first one that we have disagreed on all conversation long.
The whole time.
The whole time. We've been vibing this whole time, and you talking about Pringles. Are you a salt and vinegar person? Let me ask that.
Um, Honestly, no.
Okay,
I
thank goodness.
my sister loves salt and vinegar chips, and I just never could do it. I'm more like a sour cream and onion girl.
Here you go. That
Mhm.
damn it, I knew it. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, indeed. Shout out to your sister though, but no on the salt and vinegar chips.
But
No,
no salt and vinegar.
no salt and vinegar chips. The greatest chip ever made was sour cream and cheddar ruffled chips. Those
Oh, I used to eat those at lunch every day in high school. I
oh,
love the sour cream and cheddar.
those are awesome. Those are the
Mhm.
best chips. Now salt and vinegar is the second worst chip ever made. The
Yeah.
first worst chip ever made is Funyuns. Whoever likes Funyuns,
Oh,
y'all
yeah.
tripping.
They're not great. They taste stale, I feel
Yeah,
like. Even if you have a fresh bag of them, they're just stale.
they
So,
do.
yeah.
They do. Um, you did pretty good on this or that. You did pretty good. I like
Well,
that.
thank you. I'm glad we agree on most things other than the Pringles, but
Other than the Pringles, that's okay. That's all right. We can't have it all though. We can't have it all. So
right,
I
can't have it
understand.
all.
I understand. If you wasn't in journalism or pursuing a career in journalism, what career path would you have chosen and why?
Gosh. So my dad's in law enforcement. So I think I probably would have gone into law enforcement. Just because I look up to my dad so much and I think he's so amazing and he's done a lot of different positions within law enforcement over the years and he just does his job so darn well.
Hmm.
I feel like there needs to be more officers out there like him because he really does justice to the title that he has, and some people just don't. So I think I'd be a police officer like my father.
I'm gonna be honest. Shout out to Mr. Collins, your
Yeah.
dad. That's what's up.
Yes.
But we need wonderful cops out there, and I'm glad that he is. I cannot see you as a police officer. I'm gonna be honest. I can't do it.
There's a lot of female police officers that are little, but
No, 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 not your size, not your size. It has nothing to do with your size, your look. You listen. We already established you look amazing.
yeah. Is
You know,
it
we
is it
established that.
is it I'm too bubbly? I'm too
That might
kind.
be it. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Maybe I
Yeah, it's
wouldn't
not
be such a
like
good cop.
if you came up to my window trying to give me a ticket. Like I don't know if I can take you seriously. Like
You
this is
wouldn't
one
take
of those
me
things.
serious?
Like I don't know. I don't know if
I
there's
could
like a
be
mean bone in your body.
I I definitely don't. I'm not a confrontational person at all, but I don't feel like my dad is either. But maybe it's just his military training and everything, so he can do it. I actually did think about joining the military, doing Air Force reserves. So
Okay.
yeah, I think someone knocked on my door. That scared the lights out of me. But I think if I weren't doing journalism, I definitely would be in law enforcement of some type, whether that be in the service or being an officer or being a lawyer. I mean, I guess that's law enforcement in a way. But yeah.
That I can see. Now the lawyer part, I can definitely see that because of how organized you are. I would love to have somebody like you represent me for sure.
Oh,
Because I know for a fact you're gonna be prepared, you're gonna be organized, and you're gonna fight like hell for me. So I
yeah.
like that. I do. I just don't know if the police officer thing is just something. That's just my opinion. But that's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
something. Okay. This next question here has to do with a top four. And the reason why I like asking this question is because as a reporter, I have a top four events that I would wish on my bucket list to cover. I'll give you an example. My top four is one, Olympics. I would love to cover the Olympics, especially with it being in my hometown state of California in 28. That would be amazing. I would love to cover NBA Finals. I'm huge into basketball, so I love to be able to do that. I would also love to cover a national championship game, whether it's football or college basketball, either or. It doesn't matter because I love that. And then last but not least, I would love to cover a World Series. Now, hopefully, my Padres are in it, but I would love to cover a World Series for sure. Those are my top four events. And with the honorable mention being Super Bowl, which would be great.
Yeah.
Talk to me about what top four events you would like to cover in your future journalistic career.
Awesome. So I think having a one-on-one interview with the presidential candidates for the presidential election would
I
have
love it.
to be one in my future career. Another dream event that I would love to cover would be any of the music awards. I
I can
think
see
that
that.
would be such a good time and going on the red carpet and just interviewing everyone. The Met Gala is another one. I think that would be an absolute dream. I know a lot of companies usually hire influencers to do their Met Gala interviews, but sometimes I still send reporters, but that would definitely be a dream one of mine. And then, gosh, the last one, I guess, would have to be the Olympics as well, the gymnastics events. So I think that would be so cool. The athleticism of those women and men is absolutely insane. So I'd love to see that up close in person.
Listen, let's speak it into existence.
Yeah.
2028 is in Los Angeles. Why not? Why not
Yeah,
you? Why
sure,
not Cassidy?
sure. Yeah. I know
Right?
someone who's a reporter in LA currently, so we'll see. But
You know what I mean? And I was also thinking about the Met Gala. I thought because here's when you were talking, and then obviously we've been talking for a minute. I'm thinking, man, she'd be terrific on the red carpet. I think she'd be really cool to just talk to a different like actors and actresses and
yeah,
Grammy winners. I think you would just love that, and I think you obviously have,
yeah.
like I said, the camera would love you. So I was thinking Met Gala, and then you said it, so I was like, okay, that's pretty cool, pretty cool.
I'm glad you were thinking the same thing I said. I had a company reach out to me recently that covers celebrity events like that. And they were interested in me, but emailed them. They wanted to chat with me. Haven't emailed me back yet. Haven't been the best at emailing me back. So fingers crossed that they eventually do email me back because I would love that opportunity. We'll see.
Absolutely. Things are crossed, and listen, stay with it.
Yeah.
You know, listen, they don't hit you back, you keep hitting them back. You be a bother until they
Oh,
tell
I
you don't. You know
will.
what I mean? So
Yeah.
absolutely, I love that. Got two more questions for you because we're almost coming to the end. This next one here has to do with advice. Okay. Now, what advice? We talked about advice you would give someone, but what advice has someone gave you that you hold on dearly to?
Um, a lot of people said this in my life when I was younger, and to this day, a lot of people still say it to me, namely my mom, just because she knows a lot of different people said this to me. Never lose your sparkle. The world's a really hard place, and sometimes people get so stressed and so down on life that they kind of lose their driving force, they lose their joy, they lose their sparkle.
Right.
And I think that's been really important to me, no matter like how stressed I get, or how much responsibility I have, to not lose the joy that I radiate when I speak. And I think that's what a lot of people have said to me in the past is to just not lose my sparkle. The first person I can remember saying that to me was Miriam, my voice coach. And she's amazing. I got to reconnect with her, I think a couple years ago. Maybe I was a freshman in college, and we went to a restaurant and we chatted. But she was an amazing person who not only gave me vocal coaching, but just a lot of practical life advice. She was a wonderful, wonderful woman to have as a role model in my life in a lot of my formative years. So I thank her so much for giving me that advice. Yeah.
No, that's really good. I really love that. Never to lose your sparkle. I haven't
Yeah.
heard that line before, but it's so true
Yeah.
because in this industry, we talked about it a little bit before. Burnout can certainly happen, and it can happen when you least expect it. And one of the things that definitely has kept my sparkle is being able to interview different high schoolers,
Yeah.
college people. I mean, the young boys, the young girls keep me vibrant, keep me up, you know, because they have
Yes.
so much energy. And I love that. I love that tremendously. But also doing this podcast, being able to talk to different people of all different ethnic backgrounds and ages and different positions in different places of the world has also been inspiring as well. And you are definitely one of the people that inspires me. Being a
Thank you so
college,
much.
no problem. Being a college student that you are, it just seems like you got a great head on your shoulders, and obviously that has a lot to do with your parents and your mom and dad. But it just seems like you're at the right path and you're choosing the right thing to do, and I love that. Rapid fire now, Cassidy. Okay, so the first
Okay.
thing that comes to your mind on this rapid fire. Okay, are you with me?
I'm with you.
All right, here we go. Burgers or tacos?
Burgers.
Okay, waffles or pancakes?
Pancakes.
Ribs or I should say ribs or chicken?
Ribs.
Okay. Favorite color?
Oh, blue.
Okay. Favorite board game?
Monopoly.
Oh, okay. I be busting ass in Monopoly. I'm
I
just letting
do,
you know.
I do.
Okay, here we go. Spades or dominoes?
Dominoes.
Okay. Favorite TV show?
Um, Currently Supernatural.
Wow. Okay, that's a throwback of the 2000s.
Throwback. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
it.
Okay. Favorite ice cream?
Oh, dulce de leche.
Okay, I like that.
Good.
Don't ask me to repeat it, but I like it. Okay, cool beans. I'm with you. Okay, if you had three people to take with you on a vacation, anywhere in the world that you can go, what would those three people be, and where would you go?
Oh, this is hard. My boyfriend, my roommate Taryn, and my best friend Sophie. Um, and we would go to Santorini, Greece.
Oh, okay, Greece. That's the first
Yes.
time I've heard that. Okay, that's pretty cool. If you had three songs to listen to on repeat that you'll never get tired of listening to, what would those three songs be?
Um, Another in the Fire, worship song.
Okay.
Um, what's it called? Oh my gosh, I'm so bad with music. Fun fact, I also have whiplash right now. And so it's giving me really bad brain fog. um, from all the crazy things I do. Ooh, never get tired of.
Never get tired of it.
Gosh, I can see myself. 1035 by Tiesto and Tate McRae. I really like that song right now. So I'm
That's
basically
pretty good. That's a pretty good song.
it's a pretty good song. Um, Take Me to the Sun by David. It's good.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Got you. Got you. Favorite sandwich?
Oh, it's gotta be BLT. Classic.
Okay. Okay. What is a sport that if you did play, you would dominate in?
Honestly, I feel like, oh gosh. Um, I feel like MMA.
Oh,
I feel like I could fight.
okay. Well, I'm not gonna make sure I stay on your good side because I don't want my ass kicked. I'm good. I'm good with that. What is a sport? Okay, so let's do the opposite. What is a sport that you would play that you would absolutely suck in?
Basketball.
Okay.
Not good at all. Not good at all. There's
Okay,
not.
Cassidy. We listen. That's my favorite sport now. I'm just listening. We
I'm
can.
terrible at basketball.
I
The ball
understand.
dribbling, the shooting, how high the basket is.
Let's,
None of it
let's
works in my favor.
Okay, okay. And listen, I respect your transparency on that. I really do. I respect your honesty on that. Let's work on that. Listen, I will help you out if you need help. That's fine.
Okay, okay.
But yes, and listen, and no help with the MMA. I'm good.
We'll
I'm
work
good.
on my shooting, not my punching, right?
That's right. That's right. That's right. We're good with that. Two more for the rapid fire.
Okay.
Okay. Favorite meal that you like to eat?
Gumbo.
Gumbo. Okay.
Yes. My dad's from
Okay.
Louisiana. So he makes things like gumbo, crawfish etouffee, red beans and
Oh,
rice, shrimp and
yeah.
grits, all that stuff. So um,
Okay.
gumbo is my favorite out of all of them. And jambalaya is a close second, but
Well, shout out to Dad. He know the good food now, because I've been
he
to New
does.
Orleans now. Yeah, jambalaya and
Yeah.
gumbo pretty good now. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm good. Okay, last one of the rapid fire. If you had to choose one of these positions to do for the rest of your journalistic career, which would be reporter, writer, or producer, which one would you choose?
Gosh, as much as I dislike editing all day long, I would say reporter.
I love it. I love it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Man, this has been a pretty dope conversation, Cassidy.
It's been so
I'm
fun. It's been a joy
dying.
talking to you and hearing all the questions that you have. You're awesome. So
Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it, as I always do. I asked this question. This last question is there anything else you would like to add about yourself, school, what you do as far as journalism before we conclude?
All I'm gonna say is love God, love people, put others before yourself always, and spread positivity. Don't spread hate. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. Yeah.
Mm. That is the best fortune cookie saying that you have said just ever. I love that. If you don't have anything nice
I'm
to
full of
say, don't.
fortune cookie sayings.
Right, right. I love it though. It's so true. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. That is amazing. You are amazing as well. Please keep up the hard work there in
I will.
Washington State University, and we will definitely be in touch.
Thank you so much. All right, it was a pleasure talking with you. You have a good rest of your night, okay?
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Mhm.